What's good, everybody? Tuesday night, you know what that means. It's Flyers Talk A2D. Coming at you live tonight. Got a little bit to talk about. Something needs to be talked about, and something a little bit more fun to talk about. We're going to talk about TK's contract extension, his 8-year, $70 million contract extension. Was it an overpay? Was it an underpay? Does he deserve it? Does he not? We're going to answer all those questions and more. Get to your comments as well. We're also going to talk a little Michkov at the Phillies game. Have a little bit of fun with that, little fun conversation. See how he's embracing the city and how the city's embracing him. All that and more. So we're going to hit that like. We're going to hit that subscribe. For our friends over on the Facebook side, make sure you hit that share button as well. It's time to talk some Flyers hockey. Let's go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of Flyers Talk A2D live on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Sensuti, along with the Darkwing, Brian Daly.
What's up?
And Mr. Blue Shirt, Mr. Broadway, Mr. Switzerland, Big Bad Brad Ryer. And we welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Flyers Talk A2D, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. If you have any aches and pains, go to the doc, Dr. Paul Vidal, and then hit him up at www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Listen, life is too short to not seek out some type of relaxation, some type of comfort. If you got some pains that are bothering you, like your shoulders just giving you tons of frustration, your legs are just bothering you, wherever it could be, at your knees or at your ankles, doesn't matter where it is that's bothering you, go to the doc, Dr. Paul Vidal. He's got two great staffs in Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. They'll take care of you. You have a few sessions, and before you know it, you're brand new. You won't be feeling those aches and pains anymore. All right, so our poll question is: the Flyers signing TK to an 8-year deal worth $70 million is an overpay. Agree or disagree? Obviously, all the worries and concerns, some would say all of the hopes and prayers, too, of Travis Konecny no longer being in a Flyers uniform are now dissipated. They are gone. TK is here for the next 8 years, or at least for the most part, he would be here for the next 6, probably guaranteed, if things do go south. Fingers crossed it doesn't. But still, at the end of the day, TK, 8 years, 70 mil in total. Agree or disagree, gentlemen? Do you believe that this is an overpay for the one and only Travis Konecny?
Not at all. I fully disagree with this. I disagree with it as I was writing it. This is not even close to an overpay. This is right where you kind of wanted him to be. Where I have been saying the last couple of weeks, I expected him to be just a little bit more. But it's absolutely not an overpay. He's earned this contract. He's got 20 plus goals in 5 of his 7 seasons with the Flyers. He's got back-to-back 30-goal years. He's got back-to-back 60-point seasons. He set career highs in points and goals last year. This is a guy who's not just a leader on the ice, but off the ice as well. He's setting himself to be a main piece of the nucleus for this team moving forward. Not an overpay at all. Let's go. TK's here for 8 years. I think it's a perfect contract for him. And I know, Matty, you're not a fan of the length, I'm sure, but I don't think this is a bad deal. He's basically, the contract's up when he's about 34, 35. So it's not terrible. Could have been worse as far as length goes, but I think this is a great deal for TK and the Flyers.
Well, I will say before we dive more into, by the way, hi, John, and hi, Benny. Swoopy's here. We've got John. We got the other John saying, I'm not the biggest TK guy. I don't like giving out 8-year deals. Attaboy Harper saying, I probably wouldn't have extended him. Swoopy saying, let's all pray for Brian. He needs it. I guess he's praying for your sanity. I don't know.
In ways, yes. In ways, yes.
Old City Sports Network saying, going to be the next captain, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then John also says, I just wanted to stop by and say congratulations to Tommy on the birth of his daughter. Absolutely. Congratulations to Tom Arnone and Lena for their beautiful baby girl that was brought into the world, I believe, only yesterday?
Yesterday.
Wow. So congratulations to them. So on next. Yeah. Benny's saying, agree, he was slightly overpaid based on the fact that money needs to be allocated to the center position. Am I screaming about it? No, but would if it went in another direction. Tom saying, my dudes, disagree to the poll. Thank you, Tom, and congratulations again, brother.
Of course, brother.
Swoopy saying, oh, Brad.
I didn't say anything yet.
I think it's the shirt you're wearing.
There it is. Not just that, but.
Well, I mean, you know, listen, I've become a member of the Jazz Chisholm Club, so.
You guys, like, why do they keep doing it? Why do they keep doing it? Just walk him. Potentially walk him. Do something. This guy's killing us. He did it with the Marlins. He's doing it with the Yankees. We can't get away from this guy.
Oh, really? I didn't realize he was a pest with the Marlins.
He just hits. He's just one of those guys. He just plays the Phillies well.
So, back to what I was going to say on TK. Agree or disagree on that? I like John. I'm not a big fan of giving out 8-year deals. I just don't like. I hate 8-year deals. To me, 6 should be your max. You shouldn't go over that. You know, like 6 is pushing it any of itself. And the only reason I say that is because it's like, I know he's young. I know it's not like he's going to be in his 40s when this contract is up. I'm aware of that. It's just you get burned so many times with those deals, and it's just like, here you go again. We're going to walk right down that same path. But unfortunately, you kind of have to resolve yourself and realize that's just the nature of the NHL today. People are going to get 8-year deals. People are going to get 9-year deals. Some people are going to get the 10. And when you get the 10, that better be your superstar. Because if you're giving out 10s to just randoms, then it's like, whoop, you don't care about your salary cap even a little bit.
Well, but that's the thing, Matty, is we know what TK is starting to be. He's a big piece of this team moving forward. We know that. We know he's not going to be, it's not egregious to the point where he's going to be 39, 40 by the time his contract's over. So that's a plus too. So he'll still get one more, possibly with the Flyers or not. That'll be determined in about 6, 7, 8 years. But this is, you're right. It is become the nature of the NHL too. When you find that player that has that kind of value that TK brings to this team on and off the ice, you don't want to let that go. I understand there's some guys who don't want to extend them, and I definitely would love to hear why. Explain, please. I would love to understand why. Let me inside your brain for a minute. As scary as that's probably going to be for me.
I think Attaboy Harper was the only one so far that I saw that. So I'd like to, please feel free to throw that comment out, brother. But anyway, keep going, Brian.
This is a key piece. This isn't just some guy that we're locking up like an Andrew McDonald or anybody like that. This is very different situation. I trust Danny and I trust Jonesy very much with what they've done with this roster so far and what they're trying to do moving forward to get out of this rebuild as quickly as possible. But I mean, I get it. I know some people don't like the 8-year deal, but this is a different situation. This is a key piece moving forward. This is a guy who's basically proven to be healthy. And in the last 2 years, really proven to be effective and very productive on the ice.
True. And he has made great strides under John Tortorella's system. He fits really well in it. Which makes sense. He could be a prickly guy out on the ice. So it makes sense. That's like, okay, a little bit more of a rougher, tougher style, with a little bit more defensive aspects to the game. It's like, it makes sense why Konecny is thriving under this system. It makes sense that he works well with a Tortorella system. But on top of that as well, the money wise, I mean, I felt like the money was fine. The money I felt was good for the 8 years. I'm like, okay, like the money makes sense. Like I said, the length may bother me, but the money was fine. That didn't bother me at all. It's like, okay, they at least kept the money down. And that's important because that's another thing that really bothers me with long-term deals. Because if you overpay on that deal, that's going to hurt you down the line in your salary cap. Because again, when you're like the Flyers and you got some young pups that are coming up and they're going to get paid at some point, especially if they thrive real well, that's when you got to start. Okay, time to break out the checkbooks, boys, because they're going to want some cash for their efforts. They don't want to just do this for free. So as it said in Dark Knight for the Joker, if you're good at something, never do it for free. So
Touche. Real quick, I'm gonna drop this in there. Polls on the YouTube side. If you haven't yet, vote. Let's go. We got 10 in already. Let's keep that going. I'm sorry, we got 11 in already. Let's keep it going.
absolutely. And let's see here. Chuck saying, yo, what's up, Chucks? Swoopy saying, I agree. The years, yes, way too many years. 6 years would have been perfect. Now, technically, though, like I said before, it kind of is more of a 6-year deal when you think about it, if worse comes to worse, because you get to that point where you get to an end of a contract. If someone's kind of trailing off a little bit, 2 years isn't as bad to go up to a team and say, hey, he's got 2 years left on his contract. You know, you can work things out with that. Or 1 year left on the contract. You can work things out like that. If you've got, like, say, 5 more years on a contract, be like, they're going to tell you to go F off, basically, like real quick. Let's see here. And he said money, yes, was fine. Years, no. Benny's saying concern with the 8-year deal with TK is whether he can keep up the same style of play with him being a smaller guy. Will his body hold up? I mean, that is a fair argument right there. I will say, though, perfect example, our GM, Danny, he did handle the rough and gruff style, and it was even worse back then when he was playing. So he handled it pretty well for the most part of his career, being a smaller guy in a really rough league that still had enforcers and a lot of the cheaper stuff going out there that referees weren't as high on to call back then. Let's see here. Rosca saying Marner and Patrick Laine to Anaheim Ducks trade rumors. Let you roll with that one there, Bryce. See what you have to say about that.
No, that's not happening. No.
Anyway, so Brad, what about you, my man? From the Rangers' perspective of the rival, agree or disagree?
I think you guys got a pretty good deal with him. I do, okay? Because I look at other players who are right around his ability level, and you know he's right where he should be getting paid. Now, is it maybe a tad too much? Okay, maybe, but you know sometimes as fans and as GMs, you have to take a leap of faith with a player. Okay, and I'm going to give you an example of a Ranger who they took a leap of faith on. Okay, Chris Kreider. Okay, when they gave him his deal, I think it was 3 years ago. Okay, they were just coming out of a rebuild, and he was a free agent. And they decided of all the guys in that team, they're going to sign him to a long-term contract. They signed him, I think, to an 8-year contract for $6.75 million a year. Okay, which we all thought was a leap of faith. You know, we thought, okay, he's pretty good. You know, he scores between 20 and 25 goals a season, and okay, but it turns out now, if you look at it, since he signed that contract, 52, 37, 39 goals. Hey, we got a pretty good deal in our hands. There's no reason why that can't happen with TK. I mean, he's now going to be playing with some very good offensive players, and there's no reason why he can't pick it up and may appear to be a bargain after a while. There's no reason why that can't happen. He's the kind of player. He reminds me a lot of Ryan Callahan, guy that used to play for the Rangers. He's scrappy. He's a leader, just like Callahan was. Callahan was our captain, by the way. He has to score a lot of goals, but he scores 20 to 25 goals a year. Maybe he can push that up to the 30 to 35 level. There's no reason to think he may not. He's going to be, as I said, he's going to be playing with better players now, and there's no reason why he can't do that. So I think they got him for a good deal. And you know what? Maybe a little leap of faith, but you got to pay your best players.
It's true. You
You know,
do.
and
You do.
you got to keep them. You know, you're trying to build with a team. You need a couple of veteran players on the team that are goal scorers and are good players, and he's one of them. Why not keep him?
Right, right. So, see here. Chris Olivo saying, I wish they would admit that this was a retool, not a rebuild. The TK contract for a team, that is retooling. I mean, I would still say that it's a rebuild. I mean, the Flyers haven't exactly been they were a bubble team last year, but again, I'm going to reiterate this. We don't know if the Flyers are going to do that this year coming up. I mean, they did say expect regression. I mean, if that's the case, then that really wouldn't surprise me if the Flyers wind up being back in the cellar like they had been the last 3 seasons. So to me, I still feel like it is a rebuild. A
No, it absolutely
retool,
is.
yeah, a retool would have indicated that they would have gone out in free agency and grabbed a few more of the veteran guys that were available. They would have tried to trade for players that would have changed the entire outlook of the team and not
Mhm.
allowed the younger guys to get up into the higher positions that they're currently occupying. That would have been more of a retool, in my opinion. This is, I
Yeah.
feel, still a rebuild at the end of the day. The TK contract, I can understand where you're coming from on that, though, because it does look like a retooling contract compared to like a rebuild where you just trade the guy off. But the thing is, they wanted to keep TK here because they felt that he was necessary to the overall plans that the Flyers had. And
Yeah.
that's the whole reason why they rolled with it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the other things that you're not mentioning, Maddie, that makes this more of a rebuild. And I saw Benny drop the comment in there. Look what they did in the draft. They didn't really take anybody.
Right.
They took a 17-year-old
Right.
with their pick, which obviously he's not playing this year. He's going to go back to juniors. Not very active in free agency. The players that they did re-sign were all RFAs. They were all guys that they wanted to have back, minus Garnet Hathaway. But that was a necessary move. Even rebuilding teams need to make moves like this for guys who they want in their plans or have in their plans long term. You see it with every rebuilding team; they all do it.
Right.
You need to have those veteran
Right.
leaders, and TK is one of those guys. TK is very important to the future of this organization, and he's a franchise guy. He's a flyer. He's a flyer through and through. If you just look at his play on the ice and
Right.
his
Guys,
attitude,
he hasn't even hit his prime yet. So I mean, come on.
Right. I mean, hell, also, I mean, for a team that's outside of the Flyer sphere, look at the Sharks. The Sharks signed Anthony Duclair last year to a contract. And you know that wasn't going to turn that team around, but they still did it at the end of the day. And yeah, he put up some decent numbers for the Sharks, so much so that Tampa came calling come trade deadline. That's the main reason why they did it, though, so they could get some draft
Boy,
picks out of
yeah,
Tampa at the
absolutely
end of the day.
smart.
1,000%.
Yeah. So let's see here. But Chris, thank you for the comment, and I don't believe I've seen you before. So please hit the like, hit the subscribe, the bell, my man, and also check out the other shows too. Besides here for hockey, we've got football, basketball, baseball. We got it all here. We got wrestling too.
Oh, I was about to say wrestling. We got some wrestling.
Some WCW wrestling. Anyway.
Getting some of that WWE talk. You can catch them Friday night after SmackDown.
Absolutely. SummerSlam's coming up this weekend. So
Yes, it is. I'm
big event.
excited.
All right. So let's see.
There's going to be a big appearance. I'm not sure if it's going to be one of two guys, but I'm not sure which one it's going to be now that I'm reading some of these
rumors,
reports. Yeah.
But you know how it is with those reports. You can never truly believe them.
It will be one or the other.
Benny Station saying, yeah, but I feel like TK looked for it, whereas Danny was smart enough to avoid bigger hits, knew how to roll checks pretty well. That is true. Danny was not a shit stirrer. TK is a shit stirrer. So that is true. You do have a good point there.
Oh, he absolutely is. The faces he makes, the way he smack talks to players, like it's absolutely fun to watch. But if I'm a guy that's getting TK looking at me like, or whatever that face he made in the playoffs a couple years ago,
right.
You don't want to be on the receiving end of that.
Right.
Benny's making a comparison to Scott Gomez. Listen, the Rangers traded him for Ryan McDonough, so I think that worked out pretty darn good signing Scott Gomez. So I mean, if you end up trading Konecny at some point, and you get a great young defenseman who ends up being your next captain, in 6 years or in 7 years, you'll take that.
True.
But the difference with Scott Gomez also was a little past his prime when he signed with the Rangers.
Right. Because I mean,
he signed after he had an off year. Konecny
yeah.
Konecny is like kind of like a volcano ready to erupt. It's been bubbling and bubbling and bubbling, and soon the goals will come out of the volcano, or the lava will come out as goals. I mean, you can kind of see it coming with some players, and you can definitely see it coming with him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's a very good analogy because TK is like a volcano. When you see him on the ice and you see the faces that he has, sometimes he's getting pissed. He is just getting angry.
Nothing better than having a pest that can score.
Right.
You know that. We've all been watching hockey a long time, and when the pest scores, it just, not only do you love it, but it infuriates the other team even more.
Right.
And that's a good thing. And he's kind of being a pest. And yeah, I would compare it. That's a good one, Swoopy. He is kind of a little bit like, he's not a filthy scumbag like Brad Marchand. I mean, Brad Marchand takes it to a whole new level, but
he does.
Yeah, Brad Marchand is like the senior pain in the butt.
I would love.
TK is like the little brother of that type of player.
I would love to see a Brad Marchand try to lick people back in the 70s or in the 80s. Oh my God, he would have died right there on the ice. Literally would have died. They would have beaten him up so bad he would have been unrecognizable.
Can you imagine if he did that to Bob Probert?
Oh my God. Or try to do it to Dave Schultz. Oh my Lord, that would have been it. His career would have over.
Larry Robinson.
Oh my God, Robinson would have put him in a locker in 2 seconds. Good Lord.
It's actually funny that you bring that up because I was listening to, or I shouldn't say I was listening. I was scrolling through Instagram and getting lost down rabbit holes on reels on Instagram because I got nothing better to do with my time right now. But
it happens.
So I stumbled across a podcast that was released a clip. They had Brad Marchand on there. They were like, "What's the dumbest thing you ever did in the league?" That's actually the thing that he said was the dumbest thing he had ever done.
Because he knows if he had tried that in any other time, his ass would have been so done.
Well, not just that. I mean, think about it. You're licking these guys and they're sweating. Some of them are bleeding.
Right.
Ew.
Yeah, it's a good way to get hepatitis.
Yeah, it's absolutely gross.
Could you imagine? Be like, how did you get hepatitis? Well, I am a professional hockey player and I licked one of the other guys on the team. I don't know how the doctor would react to that, but his face would be priceless. But anyway.
But I mean, I will say this. It's nice to see some positive self-reflection from Brad Marchand.
That's true.
As much as he is a piece of shit on the ice, he really is a really, really good guy.
Let's be honest, though. He makes Matthew Barnaby look like an honest, high-class hockey player. That's how bad he is.
That takes some effort.
Yeah,
so you're saying I wanted to give up on TK. It's not so much that it's not that I wanted to give up on TK. I was just hoping that he could be consistent, which he hadn't been up to that point. That was my biggest problem with TK. It was never that I didn't want TK to succeed here. I loved the fact that TK could get fiery. I loved his energy. It's just that he wouldn't always back it up with getting on the scoreboard or contributing and producing. That was my biggest problem with TK. But now that we have the ability of the wonderful gift called Retro 2020 in retrospect, we realize maybe it wasn't so much TK as it was all the BS going on backstage with everything that was going on in the Flyers organization.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you look at the 2 years in between his 3 20-goal years and his 2 30-goal years.
Right.
You need 50 games in the NHL, and it's just absolutely bonkers to me that obviously the times were just absolutely insane. Everybody was going nuts. There was a lot of negativity, a lot of fear. So yeah, your play is probably not going to be that good. The next year he came out and he had a better year. I mean, his goal scoring was about the same in 50 games from the year before, but his assists were up. So, I mean, he took a step forward the year after. And he took another step forward the year after that. And he took another step forward last year. This is a guy who, to Brad's point, he's going to break out. I think last year I would call that his breakout year. Because he, like I said, he hit career highs on a lot of stats, and two of them being two of the most important offensive stats in hockey. So,
and to back up on with TK with how my feelings were to him, I had the exact same feelings about Coots before he had his return to form. For a few years there, and Bri, you can recall, I was thinking he was a bust. And then he turned out to be amazing after he got a chance to work with Dave Hackstall. Ironically enough, Hack actually turned out to be the best thing for him, so because he was a young player coming into an organization that was still somewhat in chaos. Lavi had gotten fired. Holmgren didn't necessarily get the job done when it came to getting the whole team under him, which didn't work. So Hack came in, and Hack was able to kind of get him back up to snuff, and his play got real well after that. So my feelings were very similar with TK. It's that the consistency and the non-production, it was starting to really grind on me a little bit because, like, you were a first-round draft pick, and for Coots it was even worse because he was number 8 overall. It's like, dude, what the hell? Yeah. So, but it's good to know that all that fear seems to be subsiding. So that's good news.
Guys, here's my question, and it's proof that he will score more goals, okay? How many power play goals did he score last year?
No.
Well, it was a good amount.
Was it a lot? Probably not that many, because their power play was really bad last year, okay? They're going to improve on the power play. You just know they will, because they're going to have better players. They're going to have more offensive players. He'll score more power play goals. And if he scores more power play goals, his goal total will be better. So it's almost a no-brainer about that.
Right.
If he scored, and I don't know how many power play goals. I haven't looked that up. If he scored 10, you could expect 16 to 17 with Michkov on the ice, because Michkov is going to make plays that's going to make him open, because they're all going to be worried about Michkov. And, if Michkov isn't shooting, he's going to find the wide open guy. And it could be TK on the power play, and he's going to bang it home. And you could expect stuff like that to happen pretty consistently. There's no reason why it wouldn't.
Are you ready for this one, Brad?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
He had more shorthanded goals than power play goals.
That's
okay,
true,
well, that's my
he?
point. Then I made a good point then, didn't I?
Didn't Konecny hit a record too? Or no, the team itself hit a record.
The team itself hit a record.
Yeah.
Listen, scoring a lot of shorthanded goals and not scoring on the power play is not going to win. Not going to win a playoff series. Okay, my team did that against Florida, and believe me, it didn't work out well.
Power kill. Let's go.
Yeah.
There ain't no penalty kill no more. Ain't no power play. It's a power kill. That's why they suck on the power play. They use it all on the penalty kill.
Right.
But it's going to improve.
John
Nyfeld's going to be out there. He's going to be setting up plays. You're going to have Michkov out there. It's going to be a better power play this year, guys.
John Malvo saying, I have a question. Is the cap situation the reason why the Flyers aren't making a trade with Nashville for Jussi Saros, especially with the multiple draft picks that they have? Well, Jussi got paid, so there's really no reason to go after him now, because for one thing, you can't afford that contract.
What's Jussi making?
Well,
$1 million a year.
No, he's
no. They gave him a big contract. They went full in on Jussi. They put a ring on it.
So it's like 12 or 13.
It's not that high, but
that high.
It's high for a goaltender. I think it's like 8 something.
Yeah, it's enough to make years. It's enough to make you check your cap and realize, no.
Is it something that's going to make me sick when I see what Shesterkin is going to sign for?
Yeah, no. Actually, it might make you feel a little bit better.
It might actually make Igor want to go for more.
That's
honestly.
No.
Because Jussi's like, well, Jussi got this, and Jussi's not on my level. So,
so with Saros signing and then bringing in Scott Wedgwood, that's actually going to block the path of Yaroslav Askarov. So that could potentially make him.
Oscarov
available.
would be a no-brainer for you guys to pick him up. But they may not want to have all these. They already have a lot of goalies in the system, right?
Get there.
They
Get there.
They do. They won't have one now. Kolosov seems he is determined not to come back to Philadelphia, so there's one less.
Well, he's a big baby, so you know what? If he can't handle it, let him go.
We'll see, because the stories are still kind of shaky on all that. So I've heard stories where he's homesick. I've heard stories that he's blocked and he doesn't want to come back. He doesn't want to play in the AHL. I've heard all kinds of different things. So I really don't know where to kind of put myself on this one. Like, it's kind of, let's just see what happens. The pipeline is really good for the Flyers anyway. So if he decides not to go, you have Carl Bjornsson, and then you have this other really good Russian goaltender just signed in Sochi just after Michkov left, ironically. So he's supposed to be really good too. So even if the Flyers lose Kolosov, they're in a pretty good spot there. So I'm not going to be too upset if he doesn't come back. Even if they don't go after Askarov, these Bjornsson and the kid from Russia is supposed to be two really good goaltenders, and I'd be okay with seeing either guy. But you gotta see what you got in Fedotov and Sammy Erson first, and then go from there.
Exactly.
Crinks Tank Moffitt says Philly toughness through and through. I guess he's referring to Konecny, which definitely I would agree with that. Konecny fits a Flyers jersey. He definitely does.
Mm-hmm.
John saying my girlfriend Rhea returns to get her belt back. Yeah, mommy's back.
She's mine, John. She's mine. Back off.
Sure.
She's mine. She can riptide me all day.
I would say this. I would die a happy man.
Just once. Just riptide me once. I'm happy. I'm good. I can die.
Every bone shattered in my body, but they'll have it written on my epitaph, died a happy man, because it was done by Rhea.
I'd be in a full body cast. Maybe full paralysis. Was it worth it?
Absolutely. By the way, I'm very interested to see if Dom turns on her at SummerSlam and still goes with Liv. But anyway,
I know we'll get back to hockey here in a second. What I think is going to happen, y'all going to hit that like, y'all going to hit that subscribe, turn on those notifications if you're just joining us for the first time. If you're not, hit that like anyway. Tell your friends to hit that like, that subscribe, turn on the bell. Never miss anything HUG's got to go. What did I just hit? Oh,
I don't know, but either way, it was telling people to subscribe, so it was doing its job all the same.
It works.
Right? And by the way, you're getting very good at those segues, good sir.
You're damn right I am. A lot of practice. 8 years, almost 9 years, baby, doing this.
Hey,
this ain't my first show.
Listen, I'm aware. I just wanted to, say, hey, the practice is paying off.
But real quick, I will say this. I think there is a riff in the Judgment Day, and I think something is going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be from Dom.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't think it's from Dom. I think you're going to see a whole new Judgment Day run by Finn with JD, Carlito, and Liv.
Interesting.
Everybody else is gone.
Interesting. Very,
Rhea
very
and Dom go off and do their own thing, because I think Liv and Finn are in cahoots together.
Interesting.
And I think Damian Priest goes off to do what he needs to do as a solo entertainer and just do his thing, because he's just absolutely killing it right now, and he needs to just do his thing.
Well, yeah, because Rhea and Damian have both outgrown the Judgment Day anyway at this point.
1000% agree.
Yeah. But anyway, back to hockey we go. And let's see here. Swoopy asking me, will Michkov take 4 years to really hit his top play? I pray to God not. I pray to God absolutely not. Could it happen? Yeah, absolutely. It could absolutely happen. He's very young. But if it takes him 4 years to hit his stride, okay. However, I hope not. I hope he's doing real well right when he gets here. That would be amazing.
I think his second year is when you really, really see a huge jump in his play. I don't think it takes more than that. I think 1 year to get adjusted, and then the next year he goes nuts.
You got to think of it this way, too. 19 years old. If it takes him 4 years, which it very well could.
It could.
That puts him at 23.
That's
Right.
still young.
Yeah, still very young. So it's not like he has to be
Puppy.
great right now. But
No.
I mean, here's the thing too. Even if he has a really good rookie year where he's getting Calder consideration, he might go through a sophomore slump. It happens. Players get that moment. They have that great rookie year.
With those mitts, Matty, I don't know. I don't think so. Those mitts he's got are just.
I hope you're right. I hope you're very, very right on that one.
You know, I mean, he kind of with some of those highlights that Rob showed us a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
Was
they're
it last
pretty.
week? I can't remember now.
They
What's
were
up, Pete?
gorgeous.
Yeah,
What's going on, brother?
Really reminded me. They honestly, they kind of look like JT Miller moves now. And JT Miller is how old now? What, 28, 29? Very reminiscent.
Obviously, when he was a Ranger, not with any other time period.
All right, let's
well,
go. Come on.
Yeah, JT Miller led the team in points like his second year in the league.
Yeah, I remember everybody was big on that, and then eventually he winds up in
those
Vancouver.
idiots, and then Alain Vigneault couldn't stand him because he never played defense and traded him.
So I guess Torts would have traded him too. I guess.
Torts would have worked with him and made sure that he played defense.
It was on the transfer.
He wouldn't have just lost his patience with it.
Okay.
And I'm a monkey's uncle. He wouldn't have lasted a year with Tortorella. Let's be honest.
Because I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, as much as we could throw shade at Alain Vigneault, and I'm more than happy to do so with his time with Philadelphia, the guy might cut his nose off to spite his face. But let's not say Torts hasn't done it in the past. He has, just a little.
It's that old school mentality,
right? So, as we continue forward from Travis Konecny, obviously other news as well. Speaking of Michkov, Michkov was at the Phillies game. I believe it was.
Speaking of segues.
Right. He was over at Citizens Bank Park. Was it yesterday or the day
Sunday?
before?
No, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. Yesterday he threw out the first pitch for between the Yankees and the Phillies, who are currently at the bottom of the ninth, and they got a runner in scoring position and another one on first, and Schwarber's
there you go,
up.
Clay. Attaboy. Got him. Oh, no, he's safe. Attaboy, Clay. You can always count on Clay Holmes to blow a game. It never fails.
You realize that you're like 30 seconds, 45 seconds ahead of us, and you just spoiled it?
Oh, well, he threw a wild pitch.
Ooh, wow.
Let's go.
And I think Swoopy says it all right here. Safe. So,
and I was begging Cashman to get a real closer.
Has the trade deadline come and gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's done.
Well, it's a little late to do it now.
Well, they have the non-waiver trade deadline at the end of August. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but
it's a lot harder. Now he'll give up a home run and lose the game because that's what he does.
Really?
Thank God they put Rojas in and took out Castellanos.
That was a really nice little stretch he made too to get to home plate and get out there before the tag and everything. That was nice.
Now we just need Schwarber to just.
Now we get.
We just need Schwarber to be patient and wait for the pitch, make him throw him something.
Yeah. So as we see
they walked him. Okay. Going after. Oh, I don't know if I would have walked him for Turner.
Righty on righty. Not that it matters to Turner, but
yeah. All right, sorry, Matty. You were saying Michkov and at the Phillies game.
Pretty much just saying that he threw out the first pitch and everything, and that it's nice to see him kind of ingratiating himself into the Philadelphia sports community right off the bat. I mean, and it isn't just the PR too. I think that he's really enjoying his I guess his debut here in Philadelphia. I mean, he hasn't played yet, but hey, it's nice to see that he's already getting to know the local sports and getting himself into the community and everything as such.
No, absolutely. And you know what? You love to see it, and you love to see him try and embrace the city as much as he can. Going out with his teammates. He wasn't there alone.
Right.
He was there with Tyson Forrester. I think Joel Farabee was there.
Nice.
And there was somebody else, Cam York. So he's going out with the other young kids, and it's good to see that kind of camaraderie start to form, and just to see the fans embrace him. You know, you had the fans showing up with their Flyers jerseys that had Michkov on it, and the the ovation that he got, well deserved. And this is a kid that hasn't even played a second of ice time yet. So goes
Right?
to show you that this fan base is ready for a player of his caliber.
We've been needing a player like his caliber for a while now to take over and really become a big piece, maybe the piece for future success. And that's
Oh,
wow.
That was a foul ball.
Can they review that?
I don't know. Is
they
it worth it?
can.
Because I know they can review like really close, like
No, they won't review
No,
that.
that was fair.
Yeah, but I'd rather pitch to Harper.
I mean, right now, I don't blame you. Right now, I don't blame you.
I mean, as far as a base hit is concerned, if it's a home run, I'd rather pitch to Harper. I'd rather pitch to Turner.
so definitely a tense moment over in Citizens Bank Park.
Well, Clay
This
Holmes.
is a tense moment in my apartment. What do you mean?
I'm sure it's tense for Brad too.
He's just way over swinging. He just needs to relax.
Then again, I'm sure you're used to this,
Don't worry,
Brad, because from what you
Clay Holmes will walk him.
he'll walk
I'll
the winning
bet you
run in.
I'll put money on it that he walks him.
Has he done that?
Clay Holmes is terrible. He has blown so many games, and I cannot believe the general manager is that stupid to not go out and get a relief pitcher. Just it's mind-boggling what an idiot Brian Cashman is. And I don't care if he gets out of it, I'll take the hits, but Brian Cashman is an idiot. Anyway, Michkov being at the Philly game last night, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That was awesome, and it was cool to see, and it just hypes up. It gets the excitement bubbling up in you even more to see him, wear that orange and black and get ready to play. It just makes you look forward that much more to the season. I mean, maybe for me and Bri, I don't know much for you, Brad, but
Get through. Oh.
Yeah.
Talk about a bounce going the Yankees' way.
That was a bit of a lucky bounce on that one for the old Yankees right there.
And and Holmes hustled to first base. Thank God. Yeah, the last time he blew a game, Boone made him stay out there for a sec and throw him a second inning, and he got the win. So he's such a stiff. That's his 8th blown save this year. Who the hell allows a relief pitcher to have 8 blown saves and not do something about it? I'll tell you who. Aaron Boone, the fool, and the other fool, Cashman. Anyway, I'm done with baseball. Turn it off because I'm disgusted.
So jumping back to Michkov, now I'm kind of curious, and now that he's kind of been hanging around with these guys, going to Flyers games and doing all kinds of PR stuff, which he kind of makes sense. He had to sit down with Ashton Sullivan the day he got to Voorhees, which actually turned out to be a really cool interview. And he's doing a lot of stuff, and he's already doing PR stuff with a bunch of kids. I did Make-A-Wish with a young pup, which was actually really cool to see. Again, that was like his second day in the city. So like it's awesome to see him doing this stuff already. Like he's already seems to be embracing the fan base in the city, and we know that he wants to do this for his dad and his family, and bring his family over and get them into the city, explore it a little bit more. It's a great thing to see. Just the embracing, just going on between this kind of reminds me a little bit of when Bryce Harper came to Philly. He already, but the difference is Michkov has no idea about the city at all. Bryce Harper already had an idea. So to see a 19-year-old kid like this just get the reaction from the fan base that he has,
Right.
that's gonna be so huge for not just the kid's confidence, but for the kid's willingness to want to maybe lock up a long-term deal here that keeps him here for a long time.
Maybe. And to be fair to it, Bryce Harper did know the negative side of Philadelphia because he was playing for the Nationals before then.
Oh, he knew it very well. Everybody
The
hated
Nationals
him.
were a real
Me
good
included.
team when he was playing there.
Yes. Although, ironic, they won the World Series right after he came to Philly, which was kind of ironic when you think about it. But anyway,
Yeah, don't blame him though.
no, but it's just
That
still
was all-
funny
That was
that's
Anthony
what
Rendon.
happened.
That was Anthony Rendon, who got a
That's a big-
zillion-dollar contract from that.
Oh, all right, Marsh.
Oh,
hate
yeah,
him.
I forgot. They have that rule where they put the runner on second.
You were talking about that on one of the other shows, and I kind of got behind some of these changes, especially that the returning Mike Mataraki on A2D Wednesdays.
Yeah. Check that out.
He was yeah, definitely check that out. He was saying something along the lines of maybe having like a progression rule as you go later into extra innings. So you start out with no guys, nobody scores. You go to the next inning, you have a guy starting out on first. Nobody scores. You go to the next extra inning, you have a guy starting on first and second. And then, or it might have been a guy starting on second, and then the next inning, if nobody scores, it's
Third.
first and second.
Oh,
Something
first
along
and
the
second.
lines. But like,
Oh.
I like
Okay.
that idea personally. Like, I think I get why the baseball commissioner does it, but to me, it just, you want to increase offense. I get it. You want to speed up the game. I get it. But in that same breath,
I hate that rule.
I do too. I maybe just kind of tweak it a little
I
bit.
hate the
That's all I
ghost
say.
runner rule. I think it's horrible.
John Mal was saying, stupid play, better let the ball drop. Obviously not about what just happened, but Marsh running down the ball there, which allowed the runner to go to third.
I think he was getting the third regardless. At least he got the out.
Yeah, but there's 2 outs.
Is that Volpe? Oh, I like
Yes.
that kid. I'm a fan of that kid.
So
He's a Jersey boy too, isn't he?
Yeah, grew up a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, though, to say that he grew up in Jersey and grew up a Yankee fan, you could say he grew up a Yankee fan almost anywhere, honestly, since, the Yankees are one of the more popular
I'm
teams.
amazed that the Yankees call up a rookie pitcher, and because if they had Cole pitching, this game would have been over a long time ago.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. He pitched very well this tonight. Like, he had a very, very strong debut. He made 2 mistakes?
Yeah, but you can't let
Very
Wilson
impressive
beat-
against a
you
team
can't
like the
let Wilson
Phillies.
beat you, though.
Well,
Mark just saved your bacon just now.
yes, he did. He took a bounce off the wall.
Hearing Mama Sensuti in the background.
Oh, yeah, she losing her mind.
I love it.
Because keep in mind, Mom is a very strict Philadelphia sports fan, so any team from New York she absolutely despises. That does include the Yankees, of course, even though they're in the opposite league. But
I just like being that guy. Like, I mean, do I like the Yankees? No. But do I really care if the Yankees sweep them? No. If the Mets sweep them or the Braves sweep them, yeah, I'm going to care.
right, because that's the division.
The Yankees aren't going to sweep them. So
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's
the Yankees won their game. Listen, they're at Boston and at Philly. They win 3 out of 6, and if they go 3-3 on that kind of a road trip, I'm happy with that. I would have signed for it.
I mean, I'm just saying it, like, just general talk. If the only way I will really care if the Yankees win is if it's a repeat of 2009. That's when I'll care if the Yankees beat the Phillies.
Well, if it's the World Series, yeah.
Ooh. Here's some trivia for everybody. Brad will probably know this one. What other year did the Yankees beat the Phillies in the World Series? Because it wasn't just 2009. I only know this because my grandfather told me.
That's kind of easy, isn't it?
Well, hey, you never know. There might be some who might not know.
51.
Damn,
Did
you
you
didn't
just?
even let me guess.
I was just leaving it out there for
That could
everybody
be
else.
wrong.
Because I said, Brad, you probably already know this, so that was kind of like my, hey, Brad, don't ruin this, but hey, you go ahead and ruin it anyway.
Am I right?
I'm going to tell you in 1 second. I
Could have
hope
been
not.
52. I'm not sure now.
Everything is showing me right now is 2009.
Of course.
My heart.
Which still is the last time the Yankees have
1950.
won.
50.
1950.
See, I was wrong.
But the only reason I know that is because my grandfather, being the Phillies fan that he was obsessed with the Whiz Kids, and that was the Phillies team back then. So
They're pretty doggone good. Now they're bringing in Mark Leiter. Oh, God.
They just traded for him today.
Yeah, and I didn't like that trade either. And they got
That's funny
Dealer
that he's
Santos
actually.
too.
I didn't think they were gonna. I mean, I don't even think any of the guys from that the Phillies made the trade for are even in town yet.
I can't
Maybe
believe
the
this
kid
guy
from
got there so
Baltimore.
fast.
Baltimore's not that far. Yeah, he probably's there.
I mean, Austin Hayes was there the day he got traded, but then he also sat on the bench for that game and then made his debut the next day.
Yeah,
Well,
but
there you go.
he was from Baltimore to Philly is not a long ride either.
No.
Leiter
could get
came
there.
from the Cubs
Yeah.
to get to Philly that quickly. I mean, I know it was early in the afternoon, but like,
Yeah, somebody took a shorter.
Oh, he skyrocketed that one. But anyway, John saying Yankees feel bad for the Phillies and give them the win.
they might.
They already did. They brought in Clay Holmes.
It's not their fault that Harper got out.
It's the truth, though.
That's true. They tried.
They tried so hard to give this game away.
Harper hit a smash to first base.
Right. That literally hit your shortstop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Chase him back. All right. Not a bad play. I'm a little worried about Harper on second. He tends to be a little aggressive, which I don't mind. Like, I like that about him. He plays every game like it's going to be his last, but
yeah, and
sometimes I wish he would just kind of not.
Genius. Boone the Genius has the best outfielder on the team as designated hitter. Can't make these things up, guys. Aaron Judge has the best arm in baseball, and he's a DH because they want to make Soto happy and play him in right field.
Think of it this way. It makes his longevity last a little bit longer in the field if they ever needed to use him.
Who, Judge?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's so good out there.
I'm not saying it's still great. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying.
He's not Roberto Clemente. Like, he doesn't have an arm like that, but he's got a great arm, though.
He hung that. You got to hang that and bang that. Let's go. Come on, Marshy.
What's up, Greg? What's going on, brother?
What up, Greg?
We were talking about hockey for a good period of time. Now we're just trying to see who's going to win this barn burner between the Yanks and the Phillies.
Yeah, this game got interesting.
To that fan that they just showed, does he share the same trash can as Marsh? They kind of both look like beatniks.
It's the same one Oscar uses on Sesame Street.
There you go.
Marsh is due. Marsh needs to come through here at least if he's going to get out, be productive, get Harper over.
They should just walk him and try to get a double play. His run means nothing anyway.
Do they? You know what I've realized? Have they ever thought about selling fake beards in Citizens Bank Park to mimic Marsh's beard? I feel like they should.
I feel like they did that in a sport around here. I'm not exactly sure.
I think they did it for the Flyers.
They did it for somebody. I don't remember who it was. I remember it. I just don't remember where or who. Or maybe it was Yager with the mullet. Maybe that's
definitely
what it was.
did it for Yags with the mullet. That's an out.
A little bit further.
He broke his bat. He broke his bat.
I wonder if he broke it on the hit.
That's what I'm thinking, and he just ripped it apart because it was already broken.
So they walked over
yeah.
Yamamoto intentionally. Who's
Yeah,
this
he
guy?
did.
What do you mean you agree?
Apparently he does. He says, I agree to the poll, but it's not a bad thing. Sometimes you have to overpay in order to keep it your guy. I dig
Okay.
it.
All right. I thought he was being negative, Greg, Mr. Negadelphia again. There's some positivity in that comment. I would appreciate that, Greg.
I actually am scared now. I'm really worried about this deal now that he's agreed with it, because usually if he disagrees with it, it's a good thing.
Oh man, look at that! Now you got Maddie all scared, Greg. Like, what's going
I know.
on
Now I'm about ready to have freaking, chills, going to bed tonight thinking, oh my God, Konecny's going to have a rough year. Oh no, this ain't good.
He's going to have a fever tonight.
He'll be fine.
Congratulations. He's going to have chills. He's going to have a fever.
Right?
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
I think I'm going to have to take next week off, boys. I'll see you later.
That's it. Shut it down. Flyers HD. Good run, guys.
Hey, 8 years. That's a good long run right
9
there.
9 years.
9. Still close enough. I was off by 1.
Really great.
I suck at math. That's why I teach history.
No, apparently you teach literature.
From what Robbie says.
Speaking of which, hopefully he's I know he's not tuned in, he's not listening to us. He's off the grid for a few days. Hopefully he's enjoying his vacation with his girl and getting some much needed R&R, reset the batteries. I know he's been pressing for a little bit. So hopefully he's enjoying himself.
And it's cool when he was telling us about it last week, where they literally is off the grid. The only line is a landline. It's like, wow, there's some step back in time little vacation right there.
Keep in mind, though. Canada is always like 10 years behind the U.S. So
that's a good point. So news travels slow across the border north there.
Love Canada. I love Canada. I've been there. Absolutely beautiful country. If you get a chance to go to some of these, I want to go to a major city. I would love to go to Toronto, and that space is loaded. I would love to go to Toronto, see the Hockey Hall of Fame, check out the city. I'd love to go to Montreal. That's a beautiful historic. I would love it. I would love to go back to Canada. I was in Niagara Falls on the Canada side. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Makes never mind. I'm not gonna, I will not go there.
You make some babies?
No. I was going to say something really, really bad. I know some people listening probably won't like what I said. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Because you said Niagara Falls, and just my automatic assumption was, okay.
No bad.
I was like 15. I went with my family. Oh, actually, I was probably a little bit younger than that. I went with my family.
Oh, okay. So that's an out. So we are going to go to an 11th inning. Well, this is really getting intense, ain't it, boys?
Two of the best teams in baseball should be.
Right. John's saying, I've been to Montreal and Quebec. Technically, John, I love you, man. But if you've already been to Montreal, then you're already in Quebec. Just saying.
Quebec City?
Quebec City might be what you meant, but still all the same. Hey, do they still have I wonder, John, did you see anything that was like Nordiques at all around there? Like a Nordique shop for like nostalgia or what have you? I'm just interested to know, since everybody talks about how it was such a travesty that the Nordiques got shipped out to Colorado and literally won the cup the first year they were in Colorado. So,
by the way, I might place it like a $5 bet that Utah winds up winning the cup.
If Utah wins the cup their first year in existence, that's to say, you know what? I think that might say we live in a simulation. I think that might prove the Matrix is real, because it happened twice where a team gets relocated.
I strongly disagree.
How? It happened twice.
But that's going to prove that this team isn't as bad as the ownership made it out to be. This team is not as bad as. This is a very talented Coyote. Well, I'm sorry, not Coyotes. This is a very talented Utah team. And this is all that's going to prove. Listen, it just happened. Relax.
I'm gonna have to point it out every time.
All I'm saying is this team is better than we thought it was, and to me, with the better coaching and better ownership and just a whole better culture built around this team, I honestly think that Utah could make a push. They could very well be a playoff team. We just don't know it. And odds are, I would love to put $5 down for Utah to win the Stanley Cup. Because you know what? That's gonna be a massive fucking payout.
And that would also be a massive, weird fucking look on the cup, where it's like Utah hockey
Utah
team.
hockey team.
People would be like, wait, did a college team win the Stanley Cup? Like, no, they just didn't have a name for the team.
No, they came up with the team the year later. They decided to let the fans vote. They wanted to create the fan base first, which is, first of all, that's a great idea. So build the fan base first. Then let the fan base create the team. I love it.
You should.
I
You
love
should
it.
always build
Great
that
ownership.
fan base up.
And you know what? He went out and he made splashes. He went out and got a great defenseman, gave up a little bit of that youth to get him, but you bring in a leader on
They
the
got
defensive
plenty
side.
of youth.
And, well, yeah. So you can give up a JJ Mosher. You can give up a couple draft picks. I forget who the other player was involved, but and then you get Tisha Ginla, you get him signed up and ready to go. You're going out, you're making signings left and right. And some of them probably aren't even really that relevant, but this is a team that could very well be a wild card bubble team next year, and we'll see what happens if they can get in.
Still give
Be
their
funny.
fans their money's worth.
Yeah. If they go on a run and they actually get all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, like, wow, in their first year in Utah, even if they don't win the cup, it'd be like, wow, they had more success in 1 year than the Coyotes had in their entire existence.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I mean,
Damn.
Damn is right.
Well, no, when the Coyotes were the Jets, they had some pretty good teams.
Yeah, but they kept running into a team called the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
So, that kind of shot any hopes they ever had down the tubes real
But
quickly.
they did win the WHA championship, I think, 4 times. So
They did. They did win the Avco Cup back in the day.
yes, they won it several times.
Yes. And then I think it was out of the...
And that might do it.
Yeah, it looks like
That's
the
definitely gonna score a
Yankees
run.
are up ahead again. So there you go, Brad. Your team isn't
Not
playing-
over yet.
Yeah.
You still get to bat.
Damn.
John, by the way, says yes. Quebec City, yeah, they have some of the best snow machine trails I've ever seen.
Let's go. I want to go on a snow machine.
So, with that being said, we have hit the hour mark. Yeah, I know, but it's okay. We can bug out now, just in case things go south here with this Phillies game, and not take any of the heat. So, we thank you all for joining us for this edition of Flyers Talk A2D. And next week, we will have hopefully more to talk about with the Flyers. If not, there'll be probably stuff to talk about around the NHL to bring up to you, and whatever fun little shenanigans that are rolling around in our heads up here. I know Bryce said he's got, ideas. I've got ideas. Rob's got ideas. We've been converging on coming up with brainstorming with brilliant things to bring to you all. Promise it's not new methods of torture. Maybe just a few. But
That's the
still,
whole point of the show.
listen, I'm not trying to give it away, okay?
Oh, my bad. No, that's fine.
Yeah. Way to bury the lead.
By the way, guys, did you notice that Rempe is training with George Laraque this summer?
Oh, well, there you go. If you're going to train with somebody, you might as well train with one of the baddest animals that ever played.
Yeah,
so there you go.
But he wasn't the only one. Apparently, he had another player that I don't remember who it was, but there was another goon down there training with him, NHL player.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Apparently, Simone Gagne trained with George St. Pierre. So if anyone ever wanted to fight Gagne, he would have basically ended them, which is hilarious when you think about that. But anyway, so
well, they showed some highlights of what Laraque was teaching him. It's Laraque, boy, I could see why Laraque was tough to deal with.
Oh, The Rock was terrifying.
Yeah.
But
Ironically, he's one of the nicest guys in the NHL.
that's the normal trend, though. Like,
Yeah.
the enforcers are some of the sweetest people you ever meet, but God, don't ever cross them on the ice.
It was always with George Laraque. Hey, man, you want to go? Yeah?
Right.
All right, cool, let's go. And then afterwards, hey, man, good fight. Good stuff. Let's go.
Yeah, after they take a whole minute to kill each other.
Right.
But you know
Still,
what? I respect that so much.
right. Still, one of the greatest things I ever saw was when everybody was chanting Boogeyman to bring out Derek Boogaard back out. And I was like, oh my God, they want him to wreck somebody again? Holy Jesus. Gotta love that. That is true. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us for another edition of Flyers Talk A2D. We will see you guys next week right here on A2DRadio.com, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy over with the Dr. Paul Vidal. And we will see you guys next week right here on A2DRadio.com. Until then, you stay safe, you stay healthy out there, enjoy the summer weather while we still have it. Peace and love, everyone.